Cheers, Joe. 20 past 7. Maria Caulfield, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Right, okay. There's quite a lot going on at the moment, isn't there? About can I just start off by saying the number of people who come on and say, actually, let's not get this out of proportion. The vast majority of people are actually abiding by the rules. Wouldn't it be a shame if their exercise time was taken away by a few people who were getting it wrong?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree with that because, but the trouble is it only takes a few people to not obey the rules and the virus is spread. And there is this misconception that if you go out and you social distance, you are safe from the virus. That isn't true. If you go out for any reason, social distancing will minimize your risks of catching the virus. It doesn't eliminate your risks because it isn't just coming in contact with people that causes the spread. It's actually touching objects that other people have touched. So if, as you were talking to Nancy about lying on the pebbles, someone with the virus has been lying on the pebbles or sitting on a bench or opened a gate, and you're the next person to go along and touch that pebble, that gate, that bench, you can pick up the virus from that, even if you've not come into contact with any other person. So social distancing will protect you, but it doesn't eliminate the risk. And that's why we're being so strict about saying the safest way to avoid the virus is by staying at home, and you should only go out for essential activities such as essential shopping or exercise.
Right. The exercise thing gets in the way, doesn't it? And Matt Hancock alluded to it on the television on Sunday. Because it gives people a get out clause, doesn't it? If they're outside and they're not shopping, well, I'm exercising, aren't I?
Yeah, but there's no way you could describe, lying on a beach, sunbathing, or having a barbecue as exercise. And that's why we're having to be strict because, as has been said already, if one group is seen doing it, people often assume, well, that must be okay then. And before you know it, the beach is packed. Yes, people did really kind of clamp down on Sunday and were very good about observing the exercise rules, but it puts the emergency services at risk as well. Those police officers who've had to go and disperse those people from the beach or the park, we have problems in some of our parks as well, that puts them at risk, and they shouldn't have to do it. We've all got our part to play, and the only thing the vast majority of the British public have to do is stay at home, and then when they do go out for exercise is to do that responsibly. It's not too much to ask people at this time of crisis.
Did it make you cross on Saturday when you saw the pictures?
It absolutely did. I worked at on my COVID ward last weekend, looking after patients, who are, struggling to get over this virus. And, when you finish a shift and you come out and you see car parks full, people sunbathing, people lying on benches, in groups, playing frisbee or whatever it is, you know that this episode is not going to be over anytime soon because in 10 to 14 days some of those people will be in hospital, and if they're not, they will have passed it on to someone vulnerable who will be. And we all want this over as soon as possible, and NHS workers are putting their lives on the line. We've heard of bus drivers who are dying. People are really going, putting themselves on the front line here. And if all we're asking is for the ordinary person just to stay at home and only go out for essential exercise, it's heartbreaking to see then, they can't wait a few weeks when good weather will come in the summer, and hopefully we'll all be out then and enjoying it.
Right. Can I just get one final rule from you? You heard that piece. Sure. I just want to clarify this. I'm I'm a bit of a simple soul. Will was up there at just above the racecourse, and people had driven a mile for their exercise. Is that allowed?
Well, the police are encouraging people not to drive for their exercise.
But is it allowed? I want to be clear on this. Is it allowed?
No. I mean, the police have been very clear.
So you're not. Why did they close those car parks then, Maria?
Well, they have. I mean, in Friston, for example. Well, in Friston, for example, which is in my constituency, the car park is closed, and there were still people who drove there and parked around the village. If you have to drive somewhere for exercise, that's not, the suggested recommendation.
Right. Okay.
You
just want to be clear.
Be able to. I mean, you heard from one of the people on that report there that they were literally could have walked there, but they chose to drive instead. You know, if they're in an accident when they're driving,
Okay,
that
okay,
gets the
okay.
emergency
I hear
services
it. I
out.
hear
So
it.
ideally not.
Okay, thank you, thank you. I mean, I'm just because I mean we like to stick to the rules, and if so, it's exercise. You got to keep moving. It's not sitting down in parks. It's not getting into your car and driving somewhere and then walking. It's exercise from your front door for a period of time that you normally do your exercise. Full stop.